Welcome back everybody to the channel. Today we are taking on VFR Lesson 2 by FS Academy. This one is focusing on the approach. We're going to fly back into Liverpool and check out some visual references, and we'll see how we do. So one thing I did change is just my view. I was up pretty close in the last video, but I was having a hard time, especially with track R, paying attention to the instruments and whatnot. So I've kind of moved my view a little bit back, and we'll see how much better that works for me. So anyways, let's get going.
Welcome back. We're to the northwest of Liverpool, this time to look at descending, approach and landing. We're flying straight and level in uncontrolled airspace at 100 knots. Maintain heading 090 and slow to 60 knots, keeping altitude 2,400 feet.
Alright, so I've already started ascending there before I got control, so let's try to get back down to 2,400 feet. I think you said 60 knots. Okay, there it is, 2,400 feet. Having a whole lot of back pressure on the stick here. Wow. Okay, that's about 60.
Staying level at 2,400 feet, set flaps to 10 and see how the picture changes.
Okay, flaps 10. Whoa.
Maintaining 2,400 feet, see how the nose is lower as the flaps have made the wing more effective.
Yep, see that.
Now set flaps to 20 and see what changes.
Flaps 20. Oh, we'll pick up speed.
Flaps add both lift and drag, so you need a little extra power to hold your speed.
Yeah, I need a lot of power. It's like it's not going up.
Now accelerate to 80 knots.
Okay, that's full power right now. Keep my nose down here so don't. This is extremely difficult. Okay, come on. Okay, so we're at 70 knots. Trying to stay to the east. Keep tapping the trim a little bit, but it's like.
Now keep 80 knots and start a slow descent, only going down at about 400 feet per minute.
Okay. Pull back power just a little bit. Let's see if that gets me going. Okay, there we go. About 200 feet right now. Try to head back to 090 real quick because I strayed off that. Alright, looking good on speed. Here's about 300 feet. There's almost 400 feet. Starting to come back up. Alright, so there, straighten up. Whew. I don't have time to enjoy the scenery. Trying to keep everything Going.
Keep descending at 80 knots and 400 feet per minute.
Okay.
This is how we'll fly down the initial part of the approach. Now please maintain your rate of descent and extend full flaps.
Flaps full. Oh. A little pressure there. Now there is a flat bug in this version.
Now that we've got full flaps, we have more lift and drag. Set and maintain a speed of 60 knots.
60 knots, okay. But like I said, there is a flat bug in this version of the sim, so not sure how this is affecting this. Alright, just pulling back on the power just a little bit. Try to get down to 60 knots.
Now holding 60 knots and a slow descent of 300 to 400 feet per minute. This is how we'd fly the end of the approach as we get close to landing.
Okay.
Get used to this attitude and power setting and keep descending further. So this is how things would look as we come in to land. But if things don't go well, we perform a go-around, where we apply full power and pitch up to start a climb. Make sure not to do this too aggressively, however.
A little more power. Getting a little bit below 60 here. And hopefully we'll be pulling up here just a little bit. About 1,200 feet.
Let's practice a go-around. Set full power now and set the climb attitude.
Okay, full power.
Use some right rudder to stay straight and keep climbing. Set flaps to 20.
Flaps 20. Good. Oh my goodness, more back pressure on the stick.
Set the flaps to 10.
10. I'm gonna try to go back towards 090. Here we are climbing at about 700
Finally, retract the flaps completely.
feet per minute. All right.
Good.
Flaps
Climb
are
to
up.
1,400 feet and get yourself straight and level at 100 knots.
All right. Got 100 feet to go.
Trim nose down to ease the control pressure as you stabilize at 100 knots with a straight and level attitude.
All right. Let's see how we do here. Doing some trim.
Now we'll head back to Liverpool and try a zone entry, approach and landing.
Okay.
Liverpool Golf Foxtrot Sierra Alpha Charlie
slow
request
down.
VFR rejoin at Kirby.
Golf Alpha Charlie Liverpool radar clear to enter controlled airspace at Kirby, not above 1,500 feet VFR. Squawk 5052, clearance limit, car factory.
Clear to enter, not above 1,500 feet VFR to car factory 5052 Golf Alpha Charlie. Turn right heading south. We're now looking to route to the car factory VRP, located just north of the airport.
Okay, getting too high here. This is so much stuff to do. So I'm gonna descend. Get back down to 1,400 feet while I'm heading south.
Now continue south into the Liverpool control zone and
Okay.
you'll soon begin to see the factory as a large flat industrial building near to the airport. Visual reference points, VRPs, are local landmarks that give points of reference to VFR flights to easily communicate their positions.
Man, okay.
Chosen for their standout features, VRPs are shown on VFR maps. ATC assigned us a squawk code, which is entered into the transponder to label us on the ATC radar screen. On our way back, let's talk about the aiming point. Once established on the approach, we pick a spot on the runway and try to lock that point in the same place on our windscreen all the way down. It could be runway numbers, a touchdown marking, or something else. Continue on this heading of south and you should be able to see the car factory soon.
Here's the car factory. It's right over to the right. It's a big flat building. It's got to be it right there. Actually, I think that's the airport. Okay, back up to 1400. Yes, that's the airport.
Golf Alpha Charlie, contact Liverpool Tower 126.355.
126.355 Golf Alpha Charlie.
Oh,
We'll report to ATC that we've reached our clearance limit at the car factory VRP. Golf Alpha Charlie, car factory.
Golf Alpha Charlie, make right orbit for traffic, call complete.
Right orbit Wilco, Golf Alpha Charlie. Start a 360 turn, known as an orbit, to the right as instructed by ATC. Target speed of 100.
working on it
The
there,
landing
pal.
attitude will be just like what we saw earlier, which we used to fly down towards our aiming point. As we cross the runway threshold, move your gaze to the far end of the runway and then use peripheral vision to judge your height. Then we'll pull the power back and raise the nose to the flare attitude, which is just enough to reduce your rate of descent, and touch down on the main gear first. Then we'll smoothly allow the nose wheel to land and let your speed fall off with the power still at idle. Maintain 1,400 feet.
Orbit's almost over. Back down to 1400. Oh my gosh, I'm all over the place.
Golf Alpha Charlie, orbit complete.
Golf Alpha Charlie, enter right downwind, runway 27, number 1.
Right downwind, runway 27, Golf Alpha Charlie.
I am...
Make a left turn here to fly heading 090, parallel to the runway. Descend down to 1,100 feet.
I already passed the runway, bud.
Keep flying parallel at 1,100 feet until the runway threshold appears at a 45-degree angle behind you over your right shoulder. I'll let you know when to turn. Looking over your right shoulder, the threshold of the landing runway seems to be about 45 degrees behind us.
Okay.
Now's a good time to make our right-hand turn to start lining up with the runway. Start a gentle descent and start slowing to 80 knots.
Yeah, I didn't do something right there.
Once your speed is down to within the white arc, take flaps 10 and hold 80 knots.
Close enough.
We're in the white arc now, so set flaps to 10. Hold the speed of 80 knots with a gradual descent. Now take flaps 20, speed
flaps
still
20?
at 80 knots.
Okay, definitely high.
Golf Alpha Charlie cleared to land, runway 27, wind 250 at 4 knots.
Cleared to land runway 27, Golf Alpha Charlie. Okay, we're cleared to land. Finally take flaps full and slow to 60
Flaps
knots.
full. Slow into 60. Okay, 2 whites, 2 reds. Getting too slow. Pick up some speed. Back at 60, looking good. Okay, here we go. And there goes my dog barking.
Power to idle and set the flare attitude.
Idle, flaring. At least I think I am. Here we go. All right, down.
Stay on the center line as you decelerate, then vacate at the first exit on your right.
Wow. That's right here.
Golf Alpha Charlie taxi via Alpha and link Kilo.
Alpha and Kilo, thank you, Golf Alpha Charlie. Now we're vacated, after landing checks, flaps up, transponder to standby.
Okay, setting flaps up.
Well done. So we've looked at re-entering the control zone, entering the circuit, and making an approach and landing. Press escape to exit, and we'll move on to focusing on the circuit pattern.
All right, folks, we did it. Definitely was something not right there with what I did, because I was supposed to turn on that right downwind, but I was already pretty much ready for base. But anyways, we made it. This was difficult to say the least. So props to you guys who can actually do this really well. So, but anyways, thanks so much for watching, sticking around and watching this one, and I'll see you for the third one. Have a good one.